Hi, my name is Lily Clayton Hanson. I'm a journalist and author and the host of Nashville Conversations, a video podcast based on my book series, Word of Mouth Nashville Conversations. Today, I'm excited to be here at the beautiful Ryman Artist Lofts in downtown Nashville, about to interview someone I really admire named Nikki Sanz. Now, Nikki founded something that literally has revolutionized the music industry. It's a job site that's been compared to LinkedIn, and essentially it provides gigs for people in the touring music industry. She recently was named Forbes 30 Under 30. She's also raised an immense amount of capital to get her business going, and she also is just incredibly endearingly real. So stay tuned. Nikki will be up next. Nikki, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here. And I'm like fascinated by the ascent of your career when it comes to building gigs. So can't wait to learn everything we can about it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to meet you. So I'm very happy to talk.
Well, first and foremost, I must say your parents must be very proud of you. Would love to know a little bit about your family and also where this like insatiable hunger for live music comes from.
Yeah, I love the first question being like, let's talk about something so close to home. Thank you. Like, my family is everything to me.
Nashville's Barbara Walters.
Yeah. Girl, I'll probably be crying on this couch, I hope. Yeah, so where the love of music came from is definitely my parents, and definitely my dad specifically. He grew me up on the best classic rock and 80s and 90s music. And my mom on Shania Twain and on Fleetwood Mac and Alanis Morissette. And I just always loved music. I did musical theater. I played guitar. I sang. I was like such a little musical theater nerd. And
so was I. And my first concert was Alanis Morissette.
You're kidding?
Yes, Alanis Morissette and Garbage. It was still to this day like one of the best shows I ever saw.
I haven't seen her, and I will. She is touring actually.
No way.
Currently. I want to say she's in Vegas. Anyways, I gotta see Alanis.
So Alanis, let's hang out. Come sit on the couch.
Yeah, right. So my first concert was Shania Twain when I was like 8. And I was in love with live music. I feel like
baddie.
Yeah. The only times I feel truly present is when I'm on a boat, when I'm by water, or when I'm playing sports, or when I'm watching a concert. I feel like I'm just like completely in it. Your brain is there.
It's your zen.
It's totally zen. And like, especially doing this job, whenever I'm feeling like off or anything, my mentor was Scott Welch, who actually signed and managed Alanis Morissette. Yeah, he would just be like, go, who's playing tonight? Just go see a show. Go get out of there and go see a show. And so, the love is always there. And the family, my dad and my mom is an entrepreneur herself. My dad is in turnaround management and finance. And so they've always been just like a huge supporter of like, just do whatever you want. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go on tour. I'm going to go like live on a tour bus. And they're like, what? And then starting a tech company, which I have no idea how to do that. And they're like, you got it. This is your MBA, the trial by fire. So
that's so cool. Because I always think like a parent's job, and I feel like my parents were always really great at this, is to empower their kids. I mean, it really sounds like your parents did that for you, like hence your entrepreneurial spirit.
Oh yeah. They're the best. Yeah. And just the support and knowing, like, I think for a while I thought like I needed to be the strong one. I didn't, it's so weird because I'm so vulnerable, I feel like, to people. But then there's something about, oh my God, this business, and no one can see that I'm struggling, or no one can see that this is hard and that I don't actually think I can do this. And it was only recently that I finally like opened up, or last year I really opened up to my parents and then to close people. And then I feel like I'm actually opening up to my team now of like, this is hard. I need you guys to be in it with me. And it's a very weird vulnerability, because then you're like, wait, do they trust that I can still do this? Because I can, but also there are days that are hard. So it's interesting navigating that right now.
Today's episode is sponsored by Freeman Webb, a trusted leader in multifamily and commercial property management. From stylish apartments to smart commercial spaces, they manage it all with care and compassion, driven by a daily mission to provide exceptional service and build meaningful connections with everyone they encounter. Discover your next home or workspace at www.freemanwebb.com. Yeah, well, no, I really appreciate you saying that because I feel like that's such an important thing to like acknowledge, which is there's this double-edged sword between this whole trend over being authentic, but then also it's like if you talk about your problems, then people assume that you also can't like handle your life, which is so ridiculous. And so anyway, I just really appreciate the fact that you, even when you sat down on the couch before the camera started rolling, were like, I'm actually in a really crazy period of my life right now. Like I might cry like on your couch, So
yeah, that's where we're at. Yep.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. So before you had gigs, which we're going to get into like the nitty gritty of what you guys do because it is so unique and so innovative and definitely like a first of its kind platform. But prior to this, you did literally live on the road because you were a tour manager. You also were production.
Yes.
Okay. Production assistant. Yep. So tell me all the things. How'd you get into the industry?
Totally.
What was it like being a lady in it?
Yeah, absolutely. All the things.
We're going there.
Oh yeah. I went to college and I got an internship at the Greensboro Coliseum complex. It was the arena in the small town in North Carolina. And I was just shadowing the venue. And so I saw my first show I ever worked was Dolly Parton. And I saw the tour buses come in, all the trucks. And so you see a completely empty arena that I've never seen. Because whenever you go to arena, you're seeing a stage, you're seeing all the chairs, the smoke, the lights, like everything's already done. So going in, it's completely empty, watching everything all day be built in a day, a beautiful, really intricate, rigging and lights. And it was wild. It blew my mind. I'm like, how do I get on that tour bus? And so I had amazing mentors there that told me, get to LA, New York, or Nashville, meet people, join a union, and push cases, do whatever you can to get into the industry. It's all word of mouth. So you just got to know the right people and they will let you in on the road.
Which is no easy feat because when people are like, oh, just be a good hang and just network or whatever, you're like, okay, well, I can be a good hang for sure. I mean, I can tell some jokes, but it's also like, how do I get in the rooms to meet the right people? So curious for you, did you find Nashville to be like a very welcoming place upon moving here?
Totally. Yes. I moved here and I had an internship with the Convention and Visitors Corp. So I was working events. I met a studio producer while working CMA Fest, Tyler Kane, who I then started working at his studio. I got a gig working for Live Nation as a production runner. I was working at shows at Bridgestone. I was doing everything I possibly could. I was babysitting on the side. I was like, anything to avoid a 9-to-5 corporate job. I was just not going to do that. I was just going to gig. That's all I wanted to do.
I need and sleep.
Girl, I had 10 1099s in 2018 or 2019 because I just was working so many different gigs, corporate events, TV shows. So anything to just get in the room, make my presence known, make my work ethic known, be grateful and follow up and just say, hey, if you have any other things, refer me, let me know. I'm really excited to work.
Yeah.
And I think it's always the person that if you come and you're humble and you're a sponge and you're a good hang, people want to work with you and you be that person, you're going to get called back. And if you're not getting called back, think about how you actually are on site. Anyways, it's a whole nother talk.
Are you a drag? Ask yourself.
Yeah.
Have the hard talk with yourself.
Which I'm sure I'm not a good hang for everybody. So you have to find your fit too.
Yeah.
So I got super lucky that about 5 months in, I got asked to work, basically a catering gig that ended up being going on my first tour, which is a huge arena tour, with Eric Church. And that doesn't happen. You start small with vans, you grind your teeth, and I didn't do that. And so I could get, shit on, and I get it. I got to start with tour buses. So, I got super lucky there. And then I worked, just whenever I was in town, I was working any gig, TV shows, film, corporate events, the Super Bowl, any sporting event. So I was just, again, a gigging professional for a few years. Then let's fast forward past COVID, because that was devastating. We don't even like to think about that. And going back out on the road, I realized it wasn't for me. So as I was figuring out what am I going to do with the skills I have and what I've learned, do I go into artist management? What do I do? And so I started working for this tour manager, and he was really well known. So he was staffing tours for people. So finding tour managers, finding lighting directors, finding audio, video, all these people. And so I was helping, and I was seeing that process, and it was all word of mouth, and it was taking me so long. So I was like texting 7 guitar techs being like, hey, are you free for these dates? Get back to me the next day. No. I'm like, well, do you know anyone that can? There's no job board. You could post on Facebook. You could post in group chats. You could post on like outdated Reddit boards, all that. And I'm like, how is this industry, with how complicated it is, when we have tours like a Beyonce, like a Taylor Swift, the technology, the people that you need to be in these positions, how is this not a more professionalized industry? How do we not have this? And so I thought, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. And, God, she was so naive. That was 3 years ago. And there's a reason this doesn't exist. Like, and we can get into it, but it's been so difficult to change the perceptions of, all right, I know you're going to ask people word of mouth, but there is a better way. Oh, you need more people in Orlando? Look at this whole pool of people in Orlando now. Oh, you need people in LA? It's not just who you know, which will then open up more equal opportunity, get more people into the game. You know, we lost 25% of our workforce through COVID. So now we're making up for it. We need to bring more people in. So we launched a year ago, and I know we're going to get into it, but we now have over 30,000 people on the site, professionals, and over 1,500 employers, people hiring on the site. So the need, in just 15 months to have that kind of scale is just showing that, yes, our industry does want this. Now, how do we do it well? How do we do it right to make sure that it's servicing both people right?
So gigs, for people that don't know, has been equated to being like the LinkedIn of, music industry jobs, right? So, I mean, I know I had even gotten myself on there for a service that I offer, even though I have no interest in like living on a tour bus, but I'll do it over Zoom, people. But you basically go on there, you put a profile on, and then big companies can list their jobs, correct?
Exactly.
So you've got all these major partners. How did you, first of all, get your partners? Yeah. And then also, we all know that there's a million people out there starting all sorts of, apps or sites similar to yours that, get maybe like 3 people on there and then the thing goes bust. So how did you get 30,000 people to buy into your idea?
Oh gosh. And I wish I knew. It's crazy what I've learned through this. Like, I didn't know anything about tech. I went into gig. I didn't come in to run a tech company. That's so not what thought I would do out of college. But you can't build something that you don't know if people want. And so I held so many focus groups, did a lot of, just so many meetings to understand, would people even want this? If I put all of my money into this and time, like, are people going to want this? Like, I see the need, but our industry, do they want it? So I conducted a lot of, those focus groups and surveys. But what I first did with that was I messaged people on Facebook. So everyone in this industry is on Facebook in these groups. Yeah. So I was a part of like 60 groups. That was for tour managers, lighting, audio, video, merch, VIP, like all the different ones. And I was going through and I was friending everybody and I was messaging them saying, hey, I've been in this industry. I feel like there's a need for this. If you think there is too, please join this wait list. And so through that, Facebook, you can message 100 people a day, and that's it. So every day I would message 100 people, and it took forever because I was personalizing all of them. Yeah. And I was friending all of them. So then through the months of doing that, I was now having mutual friends with everybody, which might seem kind of slimy, but it really was like the way to build that network of like, okay, who's this girl? Nikki Sanz is friend requesting me, but she has 400 mutual friends with me. We know the same people. Maybe we toured with the same people. Maybe I can trust her.
People related or something like at that point.
So, right, I know. Did we go to high school together?
Yeah.
So then I got up to 1,000 people on the wait list. I was like, okay, we got 1,000 people. We can launch a beta test with all these people now. Yeah. Now I didn't have employers with jobs at that point, which that was a mistake. But I was like, do the people want it first? Does the supply want it first? That's going to be the easier one than to get the demand. So,
because correct me if I'm wrong, you funded this through your own money, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. I mean, you're about to dump in, well, you can tell us how much you dumped in if you feel like disclosing even an estimate. But I mean, I assume it was a lot of money. So I mean, you have to really be sure that there is like a viable market for this, right?
Oh, yeah. It was like, it was 6 figures, and it was like, okay, I could like buy a house with my savings, or I could start a business. And so when I chose to just, or I could go get my MBA. I could go put this money into education.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This is my MBA. Let's just do it. Trial by fire. Mm-hmm. And so I put all my money into it, started to build this MVP, this product with this company that was based in Poland that ultimately underdeveloped or overpromised, didn't give me what I thought I wanted, ultimately gave me horrible code, like barely able to be used code that I didn't even know. How was I supposed to check them? They were just lying to me and just editing the Figma, which is the design, not the actual code itself. It's crazy. So then I moved on to a different company based in the Ukraine. They did the same thing. And then at that point, my money was gone. And I was in this point of, oh my God, I not only am a failure, but I also am broke and I owe people money. And I don't even have a product to launch. And I thought at this point we'd be launched and who am I to think I can do this? And so I started raising capital. That's when I had to go like, all right, I'm going to get investors. I'm going to understand what that means. I'm going to lose some equity, and I'm going to start selling this vision to people who get it, have them put money in and go. And then I started, I think my first round, I raised like $250,000 to $300,000.
Let's go lose their money. No, I'm joking.
I know. Well, that's the fear. It's like, wait, are you trusting me? I'm like 26 years old. Are you really trusting me? Like crazy. And
you were 26 when you started this? Oh my gosh.
So like totally crazy. I think you have to be out of your mind confident. Like, what was I thinking? Anyways,
Jim Carrey says it. If you listen to all the interviews with Jim Carrey, he says he calls himself borderline delusional. And I was like, I think I would qualify as that as well. Honestly, I think anybody that like...
Dreaming is delusional. Because if you really think you can do this crazy thing, that's... Why not? You can do it, But I didn't realize that like I would hit failure so frequently in this and then have to keep picking myself back up. And like, I realized that is what entrepreneurship is you like, it's not like, oh, the company failed. You went bankrupt. No one used your product. Like that's failure. You're done. Go on to the next. It's like, you're going to hit failure within the company so many times beyond like the amount of times I've just lost it and cried because I'm like, I can't do this. Boom, back up next day. Doesn't matter if you don't think you can do it. You can do it and you have to. Sorry, you can't quit this one. Like everything's in it. And so I've had a lot of moments of that. And I've had an amazing support system through that of just resilience of learning that. And that's when I think you can finally start to trust yourself. Like, oh, I don't think I can do this. Well, I'm gonna. And then you do it and then you do something and then it works. And then you do it again and it works. And then you fail and you hypothesize something wrong. You launched a product that you really thought was going to be it, that was going to take it to 100,000 users. And it didn't do anything. And you put money into it and you failed. Okay, you go again. And so I think I'm just coming off of like a failure of my initial hypothesis of how we even set up charging and pricing. I've been like, why? Like so much of it's working, but this thing isn't working. And oh my God, did I think I failed my whole team, all of my investors, because this one thing is wrong. And I feel like I've finally gotten out of like the demons that were just like, you suck, you suck, you suck, you can't do anything. And I've shut them up. And it's like, this is part of it. You're supposed to see what works and what doesn't. And then you move on. Okay, that pricing didn't work. Let's figure something else out. It's not a total pivot. We're just going to adjust the pricing a bit and move on. And I'm learning that it's not as big of a deal. It's not the end of the world like I think it is sometimes.
I think it's amazing. Well, and I was going to ask you, I mean, I did not realize how young you were when you started your company. That's kind of crazy. And crazy in a good way, honestly. Oh, yeah. Or I always like to say crazy in a cute way.
Okay.
But how did you convince people as a 26-year-old woman in a male-dominated industry to give you the kind of capital you needed to, basically create this product that this other company had pretty much screwed up?
Oh my gosh, girl, what a question. That's so funny. I don't know how. Anyone who invested, thank you, because what? What are you doing? I've now raised just over 1.2 million over, the past few years. And it's about 35 investors, all angels, all people who just like really believe in this vision, all small checks. And that way, I now have like 35 mentors and people that are guiding me through it. Like I just texted a few of them. I'm like, we have this new feature. We're launching beta this week. What do you think about it? And they're like, oh, they have skin in the game. They love it. They want the change for this industry. How did I get them to believe? I think because this isn't a revolutionary idea. Like I think everyone's had this idea of why don't we have a niche marketplace for this industry? Like we need it. Word of mouth can only get you so far. We don't need to corporatize our industry, but we need to professionalize it in a way. We need to make it streamlined. We need to make hiring easier. I mean, it's just crazy how hard it is. So I think they were like, a lot of them were like, oh, I tried to do that. Or, oh my gosh, yeah, I've been thinking about this. Or, it's not my own idea, but I'm just the one crazy enough to do it. And I think they're like, you do it. You figure it out. I'll give you the money to do it. And I think I learned what I love to do is talk about what I'm passionate about. And oh my God, am I passionate about this? And so I think that I got better at like selling the vision. And I think I wasn't as good at that. I think a lot of entrepreneurs have to learn how to do is like selling, okay, your money will get us to $50 million in a few years or whatever it is, like a crazy look at how quickly we're going to grow. And I do believe that that's kind of one difference between male and female entrepreneurs is women tend to be more realistic with the money. I think they can do more with the money. They take a little bit less risk. But when you're talking to a male investor, they sometimes want you to have much bigger language and what you're going to do with it. And women oftentimes are like, you know what, this is what I believe this will get me to. And I realized I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot. That's not what they want to hear. And so then it's like, okay, how authentic are you going to be? Are you going to play to these investors? And then I just decided I'm not going to play to these Silicon Valley investors that I've been told so many times. If you're not going to value this at $1 billion, I'm not even going to introduce you to my friends. I'm like, okay. Or I've been told, that's a cute lifestyle business. Well, you can have fun. I've been told it was a cute idea a lot. I've been told it's really ugly. And then that guy came back and wanted to work for me a year later. So I was like, all right, whatever. But you just brush it off. And a lot of times it killed me. I left a meeting and they were like, yeah, I want to invest like $200,000. I'm like, yes, we did it. This is amazing. And then months go by and I'm like, okay, are you going to sign or whatever? And they're like, I don't know. I just think you really need to cut all costs and, have no burn, all this stuff. And I'm like, well, how am I going to survive how is my team going to survive without a small salary or it's like, well, maybe get a part-time job. Okay. Well, how is the company going to survive? And so I know I'm going all over the place, but the investors that fully understand what you're doing, believe in the vision and believe that you can carry it out and lead the team right. Those are the ones that you want to invest. The ones that you're chasing, the ones that want you to chase, and the ones that want your company to turn into something that ultimately that's not the vision. You don't need their money. You don't need to take their money. It's fine. So that was a very long-winded way of saying I don't know why anyone actually invested, and I'm just so grateful.
Was it scary taking people's money? Like at first, I mean, because and also I'd love to talk to you about how you learned how to pitch investors, because I know you've done this on both like a smaller scale, like one-to-one in a room, or you've also done it even on TV as well, which I would love to chat about. But I guess I would be curious to know: was it scary the first time someone gave you a big check and you thought, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for like giving them a return on this?
Yeah. I don't think I ever, I didn't process it until this year for the past 15 months when we're live and we are now generating revenue. Okay. Now we got to perform. Now what I put on the model of what I fully believe we can bring in, it needs to come in. And that's up to me to sell. Okay. How do I sell? I never took classes on how to sell. And so I had to learn how to sell tech, software, SaaS platforms. I had to learn how to sell sponsorships. So I think the pressure was more like, how do we just stay alive? And yeah, it's like, well, now I don't want to disappoint anyone. Thank you for believing in me. But I don't know. It just never, until this year, it didn't hit me of like, I knew I wasn't going to fail. And I still know that. And then it would creep in and be like, you're a failure. And then it's like, no, I'm not. I am not going to lose these people money. I think if anything, it's a motivator. And I think if you let it eat you, and I think, if you let that pressure completely take you over, like you are not going to be able to do this and you're losing your investors' money now. And that's why I think I ended up in the hospital like a couple times in the past couple months because the pressure is too much. I fully believe I got this and I know this is going to succeed. It's already successful. And why wouldn't it be? And if I don't believe in myself, like literally there is no one else that's going to pull me up except for me. And so the pressure's there, but you have to own that pressure. That's what I'm learning right now too.
Well, let's talk about how you take care of yourself during, these times. Because you did mention, right now that you had ended up in the hospital. I know even before we started talking with the cameras rolling, you had said that it had been a challenging couple of weeks. So, you have gotten immense, attention for gigs. You've gotten amazing titles like Forbes 30 under 30, which I would love to talk to you about. And also you've had, people invest a lot of money into your business. And again, like you said, it's like mounting pressure. So, how do you handle that so you can both feel good and also enjoy your success?
Wow. I don't think success feels like it's so crazy to even hear that word. Because when you're in it, it doesn't feel like success. Like the benchmark, like to get 1,000 people on a wait list was what I thought success was. Like, oh my gosh, if I get 1,000 people that want to do it. And then as soon as you get 900, 1,000 doesn't really matter to you anymore. Oh my gosh, once I raise $500,000, I can breathe and it's going to be fine. Once you get to 500, you're like, thank God that finally happened. Okay, because I'm already needing this now. And it's like, you never actually celebrate your wins. And that's why I feel like so many entrepreneurs are like, just celebrate when a deal comes in, when you hit your revenue goal for the month, like celebrate huge because once it happens, you kind of already moved the goalpost. Like your goal is now, like my goal, I got 30,000 people. That's crazy to process. I want 50,000 by the end of the year. And so I'm not even, I'm not even answering your question. So how do I take care of myself? I really don't. I gotta figure that one out. What I'm really strict on though is really deep in my faith. And so I have my Bible study every Wednesday, church every Sunday, and those are my people that I'm with. They're outside of the music industry. They're outside of the entrepreneur, founder, all that world too. And so they're just like my heart people, my soul people. That keeps me completely sane and they're just my support. So that is something that I've stuck to over the past 3 years of like, no matter what's going on, I have that. And that does take care of me. But, no, crazy enough, the Forbes, I got the opportunity to go to Abu Dhabi in Dubai for the International Women's Conference, which was truly like one of the best experiences of my entire life, and meeting the women of Forbes 30 under 30 and the women of 50 over 50. So it's truly some of the most accomplished women in the world. It was incredible. But I think I got the norovirus when I was there, which just wrecked me. So it's been in my system for months, killing me. But I think that was part of what put me in the hospital over and over and not knowing what's going on with me. But now I'm on a treatment plan and we're going to heal.
But you had a good time there though, right?
Oh yeah, it was so worth it.
All right.
Oh my God, it was the best. We're so good. I didn't feel it until I came back. So it was all good. But I think when we were talking before we started filming, like when you are stressed or when your nervous system is so heightened all day, every day, you're going to get sick. Your body's going to break down. And so I recognize that now. And I think I finally know what asking for help means. I don't think I ever really knew what that meant. What true support meant of like actually picking up slack and actually saying, I'm not okay. What do I do? Like, what do I do? I think that's why for the past few months, I've been like, this is going really well, but things aren't, we're not hitting certain revenue goals that I thought. But it's okay. Like this was our initial hypothesis. We're making slight tweaks. For example, what we were charging was employers to pay for access to all of our candidates. Makes sense. We don't want to charge the pro for, they're looking for a job. We don't want to charge them. The employer has, anyways, all this to say, I don't think that was the right way to charge. So we just made jobs completely free for anyone to post, because what we need is the demand. We need those jobs on there for a fully operating, functional marketplace to work. And so easy tweak. Oh my gosh, it's already working so well. And our current employers that are paying for subscription are still with us, because what they get paying is that upper tier of searching the full database and all these other benefits that you get. And so, oh my gosh, the world didn't end, like this tiny slight pivot, which isn't even a pivot, is working great. And so, it's just a very interesting time to be having this conversation on a microphone and a camera, because I'm learning a lot of this. And I think so many founders and entrepreneurs that are further along probably have hit this moment of like, chill out. The world's not going to end. And it's not just up to you. Like, you have a team for a reason.
Well, and also I do find, we live in a world, and I think it's gotten even more, like rapid paced, which we can certainly talk about because you're in the tech world, which I think is one of the fastest moving industries out there. But it's like you get one win, then you want the other. And it's like you want everything to like almost happen at like once. And it's a snowball effect. But like, really, I feel like, I don't know, at least in my own career, and I always try to remind myself of this too, because I can be as impatient as like the next birdie. But I mean, it's like, the slow sort of burn is really the most gratifying. And also, if you intend on having your career, owning your business for decades or whatever, which I'm sure you do, and we can get to that. But it's like, wouldn't you want to look back on things happening sort of in like a paced out kind of way, rather than like everything happening all at once?
Yeah. And also, I wouldn't be able to handle everything at once. Like, it comes to you with what you're ready for. And I think if I had a certain team in place or whatever it was for this massive scale, it would be happening. But we're not there yet. We're almost there. We're getting all the glitches out, and we're, so I love that. That's the way life is supposed to go. Mm-hmm. And also, if you get the huge success right away, if the first thing I thought was going to be $100 million company right away, what would I learn in that? Like, what kind of character development is that? And what's the point? I don't know. I think, and I'm sure as you go through and like not getting certain acting gigs and it's the times that you're totally down and facing rejection or failure that you realize what to do to then succeed. It's like, anyways, all the cliches, it's all just like slapping me in the face. I'm like, I get it now. Okay.
Well, what was it like to earn the title Forbes 30 under 30? I mean, because that is such a big deal. And I was thinking about how young even 30 is. But I mean, you got it when you were like basically
28, I guess.
Yeah. That's such a young age. I mean, to be receiving such a big title and also like networking with some of the most like successful female entrepreneurs in the world. So, I mean, what was that like for you? And did you feel this, I guess, pressure afterwards to kind of like have it something to live up to in a way?
That's an amazing question. Whoa. Yeah, I think there's a crazy imposter syndrome of me? Like me? What are you
Little me
girl, North Carolina just came in. Very weird. I woke up one day to an email just saying, you're on the list. Because there's no like PR company that can get you on or whatever it is. I think someone nominated me in the summer, and I met with an editor, and then I didn't hear for like 6 months. And I was like, there's no way. And then it came, and what it has afforded me, and I just will be forever grateful, is like the networking and like, first of all of the entrepreneurs. So right when it happened, we all met in New York to meet everybody in our class. And how cool to meet people that are just as passionate and crazy as you, to hear the accomplishments of this crazy race car drivers or hedge fund owners or National Geographic photographers, people who own nonprofits, people who have won Tony Awards that are all under 30. That means that they're all psychopaths and like really dedicated to being the best at whatever they're doing and being so focused and disciplined. And so it was just really powerful. And then getting to go to Dubai and be with just the women of the 30 under, like we have this sisterhood now, like this group that we're actually going to see each other in October or September for a conference. And we're all going to be in an Airbnb together. And we all saw each other in New York recently. So it's not only these people that we're all in such different lanes. Like I don't know that many other people in 30 under that are doing a lot of tech companies or not close to them. Mm-hmm. But we all share that same fear and difficulty, pressure, stress, exhaustion, and it's hard to find, have family or friends really relate to that. And so to have people like that, that's what I'm so beyond grateful for Forbes just for that. And the recognition is anyways, it's not as important. I'm sure it helped with getting investors on, whatever, but really I get to be around these people and I get to have access to these people is such a gift.
Because I bet most people in your life, they probably don't understand why you put so much pressure on yourself.
Chill out.
That's what I find with really high achieving people. I would throw myself in that category as well as, I think, and I wasn't always like that. It was like sort of like a gene that almost like kicked in my like mid-20s.
Really?
I mean, when I was younger, I was just super artsy and just into like having fun and being cool, and that was all I cared about. But then all of a sudden it was like when I hit my mid-20s,
that's when we mature. That's when women mature.
Okay,
well, that's when it hit me too.
Well, maybe I matured. Maybe that was what happened. We just, thank you, Nikki. You just solved an issue that I've been trying to work on in therapy for like 12 years, but that was what happened. But all of a sudden I was like, why am I so driven? And why is like nothing good enough? And something you said earlier reminded me of a video I put up on Instagram a couple of days ago where I was talking about celebrating the accomplishments. And I mentioned it again today. I did a little video about my interview with the mayor this morning and I was like, I'm just going to stop. Thank you. And be like, hey, congratulations, Lily, because I'm kind of sick of like, I have these huge milestones and then I just breeze on to the next thing, It's very like, it just doesn't work for me anymore. I'm like, no, like have your glass of champagne or a cup of coffee or whatever, and toot your own horn, man.
Seriously. And I feel like that's the beauty and then the darkness of it all of like, no, I want to be the best at whatever I'm doing. I want to do this the best. I want to be the first, whatever it is, which then you're honing in your craft. And I just love people who are super passionate about things. And so it's awesome to be talking to you right now. But yeah, if you're never satisfied with what you do, because you can keep doing better, you're never going to be satisfied. So
it's a hard balance, right? Because it's like, I feel to be that kind of personality type, which you are for sure, where you have to keep moving the dial to keep moving forward and, expanding your business and, leveraging it in different ways, but also like, it's like, you got to stop and, again, celebrate those milestones. Otherwise, I do feel like that's how people get burned out.
Oh gosh. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, the best day ever is just like going out on a boat or being on water and just chilling. But if that was my life, I think I would be unsatisfied. So it's finding it's so funny. Last year, I always put a word for what my intention of the year should be. So 2024 was discipline. Ooh. And like in all areas of life, like how to be very disciplined, saying no to a lot of things and sticking to what I promised myself. So I wanted to start really trusting myself more. And so if you keep saying you're going to do something and then you don't, like a friend that keeps saying, I'm going to do it, and then they don't, you stop trusting them. And so
I love that.
What last year I felt like I started really trusting myself, and then that confidence followed with that. So this year, my word was balance, because with a lot of discipline, you get burned out and you're like, I want to have fun. What happened to my fun life? And so this year was balance. And it's so interesting that I'm finding the opposite of balance this year. My whole year, I feel like it's just so much more intense work that it's forcing me to think, how do I balance? Because my health I can't take it anymore. And I wouldn't have seen this coming. I'd be like, no, I can, go, I'm 29. I want to go I want to date. I want to have, a social life. I want to go out and have a happy hour on a weeknight. But you can't do that when you're up till midnight every night working. No one wants to date you if you're working every night till midnight. There's a whole, and Lord knows it's August and I haven't figured out balance yet. So it's interesting that my health is forcing me to figure that out now.
That's good. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, that could be you've had health issues.
Oh, no, it's good. It's cool how God works. Always like that. It's how he speaks. But what would you say your word for this year would be?
Oh, I'm greedy. I have 2 words.
Let's go.
Yes, I have faith and focus.
Okay.
Yes. And I feel like the 2 go hand in hand. It's like they're like a great hybrid, because if you have faith, you can focus. And also when you're focused, you have faith. So, I mean,
and what you're focused on.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I'm someone where it's like just get so many ideas and like everything sounds really appealing, and so it's like I want to just like, dabble in this, dabble in that, but
And
I know
creative.
way creative. And so, but I feel like for me, I've had my most success when I'm just like completely and totally focused on one thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about you learning to be the face of your company. Because you have done this on a pretty public level. You were actually on, it was a TV show, right? Yeah. It was Entrepreneur, correct? Yeah. And so I was kind of like Shark Tank in that way.
Totally.
Yeah. And so I watched your pitch. It was great. But yeah, I just would love to know, beyond pitching, beyond being on TV and like in the media, what's it been like being the face of your company? And how did you, step into that role? And when did you finally feel at ease in it?
You have great questions. Wow.
Oh, thanks.
It's so funny. This year, I was like, okay, to my social team and marketing team, I was like, okay, this is the year that we're going to start putting all of our gigs professionals, all of our freelancers, the employers, all of their face as the company. I want gigs to be the community. Doesn't need to be my face. And then it's crazy. All of the different advisors and consultants and mentors are like, right now, especially founder-led sales, founder-led companies are everything. Mm-hmm. And people buy into the founder story and the founder being authentic. And it's really interesting how that's being driven right now.
Yeah. I coach people on how to do that. Yeah, I told you. I get paid like by clients who are like, I need to come up with my founder story. I'm like, what the hell is that? They're like, it's like what I say when I go on a podcast. I was like, oh, like the elevator pitch, but like about you. Interesting. Because I thought, I didn't even know that was like a trend now. But I'm like, all right, let's put my face on the front of this thing too. Because I mean, yes, it's like everybody wants to know who's like the man behind like the machine.
Totally. Well, and now it's so interesting because whenever I consumed media, Instagram or TikTok or whatever it was, I would always pay attention to the podcast ones. It felt like if they had a microphone in front of them and a nice set, well produced, they had something important to say. And it's like a wild thing. I think it's probably going to go away in the next few years. Who knows? Then I was like, oh my gosh, that's how we should do our ads. I'll just pretend like we have a podcast, like I'm talking to someone about this thing I made. And, and so our ads started out, we rented a podcast studio, Lagos studio here in Nashville. We just pretended like we had a podcast. Those ads did super well. Like people thought you
pretend podcast. Yeah. That's hilarious.
People thought you had an authentic, not authentic, what's the word? Authority. And what you were saying that, oh, you have, whatever. There's this good camera production on you. You must have something worthwhile to say.
Yeah.
This then it did so well that I was like, you know what? We should actually we should have a podcast. We should start telling stories of the people behind the scenes. Let's interview the tour manager of Beyonce and Shakira. And let's interview Post Malone's tour manager and the lighting designer of Coldplay and, the rigging and lighting, audio, video. Everyone backstage that never gets a voice, but their job is so important and no one knows about this world.
I was going to say you are like their favorite person because they're like, yeah, I'm over talking about this other,
talking about
this household name. It's like, give me like the spotlight for once. Yeah.
And also what they're doing is so hard. And what the artist is doing is hard too. But everyone's job on tour and in the crew and backstage is to make the artist feel special and feel like their life is easy. But the crew's life is really hard and touring is tough. So I was excited to just kind of produce that as fun content and educational. What that turned into was our main funnel. It was like, oh my God, people want to hear this kind of media side. Mm-hmm. And what I found was I love the podcast side. So it's so fun. And then this turned into, okay, this is becoming, people are really listening to it. We're up to like now 75,000 followers on Instagram. Like that happened this year, like crazy, really fast. And okay, what else do they want to see? We're creating different kind of content, different sponsorships, and I'm loving it. And so it's, had to get comfortable with like, okay, it has to be my face here. I now have to become an expert, so I can't sound like an idiot. And also, I don't look like a lot of typical roadies do. Like I'm not tatted up. I'm not always wearing black. I'm like pretty girly, and I haven't been on the road for a few years because I've been building this company. So how do I also get them to trust me? Like I promise I was one of you, but I'm this young girl who's doing this. Like, why are you going to trust me? And so I need to be an expert. What I'm learning is like, this podcast is my masterclass. I'm learning all of these new terms and everything about this industry to become a better expert in this industry to answer these questions. But I'm the first to say like, I'm no expert here. I'm just trying to learn as much as possible. So I'm enjoying it. I'm excited for when Gigs brand becomes, we started, my amazing team started this thing called Gigs Crew, which people applied to it. And we have 12 ambassadors. So they're on tour with crazy people all around the world. Mm-hmm. And they film, here's a day in life. Hey, I'm waking up on the tour, or here's what I'm packing. Here's what a load-in looks like. Here's what this console is like. So it is starting to become other voices and other faces. And I think that's what it will eventually turn into.
Yeah.
But it is interesting when you're starting to build a brand, there has to be one face for a little while. Mm-hmm. And I'm just having to get used to that.
Was it any different being on TV versus like hosting your own podcast? Like, I mean, was there, I guess, like an intimidation factor there, or did you just kind of jump into it? Like, it seems like you do everything.
I was such a musical theater kid. I loved performing. I loved doing musicals and plays, and I acted. I just loved it. And so actually that stuff I love. I love pitch competitions. I like memorizing things and performing. So actually it was fun. The hardest part, like I loved doing the pitch part of the show.
Yeah.
And then I got through to speak to the judges, and then you have like 45 minutes of just defending your ass the whole time. They're like, I don't think this is going to work. Why don't you have blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah, that's a really hard question. But luckily at that point, I had been talking to people every single day about, answering all these questions of why people poking holes in every direction. And that's what I would recommend to any entrepreneur. Meet with everyone, because someone is going to have something that you're not thinking of, poking holes in it, so that when you're on TV in front of Mark Randolph, who is the founder and first CEO of Netflix, that you can defend yourself and feel like you have the authority in it, that you know. So on that show, I got a deal on air with Mark. And Dahani Jones. It was just wild to see that people were interested in it, and that this thing could have legs, Okay, that gave me some more confidence. We're going to keep going. I loved it.
God, the stuff that like gets you jazzed to be like, most people, like they're like worst nightmare, like literally debating about your own business on, but like national television.
I would take that over being behind a spreadsheet. Oh my God, I hate being behind a spreadsheet. Mm-hmm. Get me away from that. Get me to do that. Yeah.
Well, I know that you are a busy woman and you have a hard stop soon. So let me just ask you one last question. Your company has been said to literally be revolutionizing like part of the music industry that really, again, had been kind of rather neglected for a while. And you've helped so many people get jobs and make their life of gigging much easier, probably less stressful, and also help these companies probably with their hiring process as well. But what about all of it has been most meaningful to you?
Gosh, your question's so good. And I really respect, because it's weird to me that I'm answering all these and not asking you questions. So anyways, thank you for these. What's been meaningful to me? If all of this fails, which I know it won't, if everything fails, I know that I brought thousands of people together to meet. I know that people have gotten jobs from this site that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten. I know that employers were able to hire and keep good people. I know that friendships have been made. I know that a community has felt supported for the first time in a long time. And that will be enough, whatever does happen. And that, the why, as soon as it just gets a little convoluted and I'm really heavy on the tech or whatever, or even making the money or whatever it is, as long as I shoot back to why do we do this? People need to get jobs. People need to keep getting jobs. Employers need to hire easier. And this industry needs to come together and network and be a community easier than it has been, because it's so fragmented. I know I did my job. And what we have coming, my vision for this, what we have is 30,000. We have 1,500 employers. But I hope to have all of the live event industry. That's not just concerts and festivals and corporate events, but it's also, why not sports? Why not TV and film? It's all the same people backstage wearing black, being the gigging professionals, freelancing, being their own business, all the same employers, being the hub for live events. If you want to get a job, you get on gigs. If you want to network, if you want to meet more people, if you want to learn, if you want to have certifications, if you want to meet a mentor, if you want anything that has to do with the industry, I hope that, and I believe that gigs will be that.
The Amazon of like the live event world. I love it. Awesome. Such a pleasure to meet you. Very inspired by your energy and also just your honesty. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what comes next.
Can't wait for you too. This is fabulous and congrats on everything. So happy to know you.